One radio show in 1938 was so realistic that millions believed Martians were invading Earth and people fled their homes in panic. But first, please subscribe. Now let's discover the War of the Worlds panic that changed media forever. On October 30th, 1938, CBS Radio broadcast Orson Welles' adaptation of H.G. Wells' novel War of the Worlds as a Halloween special. But the format was terrifyingly realistic. The broadcast was designed as fake breaking news reports interrupting regular programming. Actors played panic reporters describing Martian spaceships landing in New Jersey and aliens killing people with heat rays. Here's why it worked. People tuning in late missed the disclaimer that it was fiction. They heard only breaking news about alien invasion and believed Earth was actually being attacked. Within minutes, thousands of people fled their homes in panic. Police stations were overwhelmed with calls. People wrapped wet towels around their heads, believing it would protect against alien gas attacks. Families loaded cars and drove away from cities. Some people called loved ones to say goodbye, believing death was imminent. Churches filled with people praying as the world ended. Hospitals treated people for shock and heart attacks caused by the panic. One woman reportedly ran into a police station screaming, "I'd rather die this way than that," and tried to take poison. The realistic news format was unprecedented. The broadcast included fake on-scene reporters, government officials, and scientists describing the invasion with urgent, authentic-sounding detail. One of the most convincing elements was dead air, moments of silence during the broadcast that made listeners think radio stations were being destroyed by aliens. Newspapers the next day ran headlines like "Radio listeners in panic" and "Fake radio war stirs terror." The story became international news, embarrassing CBS and making Orson Welles instantly famous. But here's the controversial truth. Historians now believe the panic was greatly exaggerated by newspapers who were competing with radio for audiences and wanted to make radio look dangerous. While genuine panic occurred, it wasn't the nationwide hysteria newspapers reported. Perhaps hundreds panicked, not millions. But the myth of mass panic became more famous than the actual event. The broadcast proved how powerful media formatting is. The same story told as obvious fiction wouldn't scare anyone, but presented as breaking news became terrifyingly believable. Modern research suggests only about 2% of listeners actually believed aliens were invading, but newspapers amplified their stories to attack radio as irresponsible competition. The War of the Worlds incident created the first media literacy debates. Should broadcasters be allowed to create realistic fake news? How do we protect people from convincing misinformation? Orson Welles apologized publicly, claiming he never intended to cause panic. At age 23, the broadcast made him famous and launched his legendary film career, including Citizen Kane. The Federal Communications Commission investigated but didn't punish CBS. However, new rules were created requiring clear disclaimers that broadcasts are fictional. Similar War of the Worlds broadcasts in other countries caused panic decades later, proving people repeatedly fall for the same realistic news format trick. That's your media panic knowledge bomb. If this media manipulation story fascinates you, smash that like button. Subscribe for more moments that changed how we understand media.